Hi everybody, welcome back to Let Loose with Louise. It's me, Louise, and welcome back to our channel. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing very well. It is a Monday when I'm filming this, and I can just say it's been a Monday. It's been a Monday. And it's been a while since we've done one of these episodes. I know that only like 2 people watch them, and because of that, I feel like I can be very transparent and say that I don't give a crap. I'm still gonna do these because I love chit-chatty ASMR podcast type videos. I wish there were more. So I'm still gonna do them. But yeah, today's been a Monday. I feel like, I don't know, I've been in a very annoyed mood recently, over the weekend and kind of like last week into this week. And I know it's because of a few things that we don't have to get into, but just normal like girl hormone things and health related stuff. I just don't feel the best physically, but I don't know, I've just felt very annoyed. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's like the season's changing, so we're gonna blame it on that. And I hit my elbow before recording this, and it was like pounding, and I can't figure out my lighting situation because I don't want it to be too bright or too dark. It's a lot. And I will say my fan is on because it is a little warm today. So if you hear that, that is what's going on, and there will be airplanes. But like I said, only 2 people watch this, so it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. So we're just gonna continue on. I will try my best to not be in a little bratty mood. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Let's start with a deep breath, shall we? And then we'll get into today's topic. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay. Life is okay. Could be worse. Alright. So, today's topic is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And I don't think I've talked about it to anyone in my life besides, I mean, this is very weird to say, but besides my like 4 friends on Snapchat who I have like a streak with, who I haven't seen in years. I don't see my friends. But I remember one day just sending them a snap and saying something along the lines of, do you guys ever grieve your life, your past life? So whether that's like a certain age range or a certain time in your life, maybe like high school, college, middle school, childhood, I don't know. Do you guys ever grieve that part of your life, regardless if it was good or not? It was something along those lines, and their responses were very like, yes, like I grieve past friendships, I grieve past relationships, I grieve like my high school, college career. And that's not to say that they were like good times, because when I look back at a lot of those times, 90% of it was like really bad or like just shitty. Here's an airplane. But I wanted to talk about that phenomenon today because to me it feels like a very strange like idea. And we'll see if I can just stay on that straight path and not veer off to like subtopics, because I tend to do that when I talk about some pretty deep shit. But I'm going to start just like with my personal reflections right now, because I am at such a turning point in my life. And I guess we'll just start there so I can give you like a few more examples of what I'm talking about. So, as you guys know, maybe you don't, oh, it's windy out there, goddamn. I am 26, I am engaged, I am getting married very soon. I have my own place, I have my own bills, I have a dog, I have responsibilities. I am feeling more adult than I ever have before. And with that, I feel like I am just a totally different person now than when I was growing up and like in my teenage life. I feel like I don't know who that person is anymore. And it's strange because what I am living through right now is stuff that I dreamed about, right? So like, I always wanted to get married. I always wanted my own dog. I always wanted my own place. I wanted a good partner, and I wanted to make my own decisions and, just do what I want to do when I want to do it. Obviously, with that comes adult responsibilities, obviously. But, you know what I mean? Because I feel like 99% of people want that stuff. Like they're, that's what you grow up and you become something along those lines. And I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I know that deep down, this is what I want. I do want a family. I want to be a mom. I want to have my own career, and whatever that looks like in the future, I know I want that to happen. This lighting is driving me nuts. I'm so sorry. Just close your eyes and listen. So I know that's what I want. But it was like a couple months ago, I finally decided to let my mind wander, which I don't often do. I'm very type A. I'm a Capricorn. Hello. Like, we don't daydream. Like, we're getting our shit done, and we don't look back. But I decided to look back, and I decided to let myself think about my life before this, and realizing that so much has happened from then and now, and I've changed, and I've grown up, and I'm the person who I am now. But then I realized, like, where did that person go? That person, 16 years old, 17, 18, all of the friends, all of the memories, all of the relationships, even like my family life and that dynamic, all of that is like still there. And sometimes I get there's a word for it. I wish I looked this up beforehand, but imposter syndrome. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm not me now. I am still me then. So I am still 16 years old, like, with all my friends who are shitty friends, but we were all kids. Liking a person, being in a relationship with a person that was no good for me, had no business dating. Being at home, saying, I hate it here, like, I can't wait to move out. You guys, you know, Mom, you're so mean, or like, whatever the case is. Like, sometimes I feel like I am still there, and there's a part of me that grieves those times, almost like it was simpler times because it was what I was used to. Does that make sense? In a weird way, I feel like I grieve past parts of myself because whether I was uncomfortable or comfortable, I knew what the day would hold. So, like, I knew I would go to school. I knew I would see my friends. I knew I would see my boyfriend. I knew what the household dynamic would be like. I didn't have all of these responsibilities. And I don't even know if grieving is the right word. But it's almost a feeling of like, wow, if I could go back and experience all of it again, A, would I? And B, would I grieve the life I'm living now? Yes, I think so. I guess you can kind of say it's like the saying, the grass is greener where you water it, or like hindsight's 20/20, and you know, like, or you know, when a bunch of friends are talking about the good old days, like, oh, I remember when we were in college and Barry shit himself in the bathroom and threw up all over the carpet, and we didn't get home till 5 a.m. and the cops were called. Like, those were the good old days, man. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They're the good old days now in your head because you're looking back at it in a different light that you can almost romanticize it. And you hear a lot about that kind of thing in breakups, like whatever type of breakups, like, oh, you know, that wasn't that bad, or like, oh, I wish we could go back to that time. He wasn't that bad, she wasn't that bad, like, we had a lot of fun together, like, I would do anything to go back to that time. And that's like, everyone does that. Everyone does that. And I just can't wrap my head around that feeling sometimes. Because there are things that I can look back and be like, oh, yeah, like, that was really fun. I would love to do that again. Or that was such a good memory. Regardless of, like, what it is, I can almost romanticize it in a way that's like, in my head right now, it sounds good. Like, it sounds and feels good to think about. But I don't know. Let me know let me know if you know what I'm talking about in any way. Yeah, and I, like, growing up, back to like a little personal story, I grew up in a very small town. Everyone knew everyone. No matter where you would go to school, like, all the schools would know each other's drama and gossip, and like, you would always wind up seeing people. Even if you go to a different school, you know, move houses, you know, you're gonna wind up in the same place with the same people doing the same shit. And, you know, everyone knows a town like that, but that was my town. And I hated it. And I hated it since 6th grade, 5th grade. And I always knew that I wanted to get the hell out of there. Because the kids were terrible. The adults were terrible. The teachers were terrible. Because that's your, childhood. You're going to school, you have friends, you have activities, and that's your life. So you want to make sure you freaking like it. And I didn't. And so growing up, everyone almost had the same mentality of do the same thing as everyone else, have the same mindset, and relive the same day over and over and over, talk about the same thing. And some of those people, to this day, have never left. They are still 26, 27, 28 in their hometown doing the same thing, reminiscing on those memories when they were 16 years old. Bizarre. But I went through that cycle as well, where I had those friends where we would sit there and we would romanticize these memories of the good old days. And I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, they were not the good old days, they were just all we knew. And they were fun because we had nothing else going on. And we were all drunk or on drugs or like making bad decisions and rebelling because that's what everyone else was doing. And I think the more I think about it, the more it feels like I am romanticizing not the memories, but the feeling of childhood and the feeling of innocence or no responsibilities, or maybe just simply having the rest of your life to figure out who you are and what you want to do. And I feel like usually it takes that one giant change or step in life that takes you out of those memories and those feelings of, this is my life, it is what it is. And then it takes the giant change of meeting someone, moving, getting a place, getting married, doing the big thing that takes you from who you were to who you're becoming. And it's completely normal to grieve certain feelings and memories and parts of yourself that you may have had to leave behind. And so that's what I've been coming to terms with more because of, getting older, just moving in a different direction that I've never been to before. And that's like so friggin' awesome and amazing and special, but scary, because I think all of us sometimes, if we let ourselves, we can still see ourselves as that 16-year-old or that 18-year-old who just wants to have fun and has the whole world in front of them and can make whatever decision they want. And that's exciting. But I think it's also really special to allow yourself to move forward and see that just because your life is different doesn't mean you are like not who you are. Like, yeah, I'm not who I am when I was 16 anymore, but I'm oh my goodness, can I speak? I am who I am now as a 26-year-old. And I can still feel things, I can still have fun, but it's just gonna look a little different. And that's really cool. Because honestly, I know teenage Rachel, or teenage Louise, sorry, she'd be hella proud of where I am today and what I'm doing. And she'd be like, what? Like, we finally get there? That's crazy. Because I knew this is all she's ever wanted, and that's really, really, like, fulfilling to be here in this situation. And even on those days where I need to remind myself of things and grieve a little bit, or allow myself to think of the past, and see how far I've come. Yeah, I mean, I'll remember, but that doesn't mean I miss it, and that doesn't mean I want to go back, and can't go back, only a way is forward. So yeah, that honestly just kind of trauma dumped on you, and also just let my brain vomit, like word vomit. But I think that was probably the most cohesive way I could talk about that. And so I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead and leave it at that. Grieving your past life is okay, but you do have to accept what's in front of you. I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment below if any of this resonated with you, your own personal journey or story down below. I'd love to read it. And if this just didn't make sense to you, that's fine too, because yeah, I know everyone's experience is different. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed listening to me, and let me know if there are any other topics you would like to hear me word vomit about, because I will definitely do it. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let Loose with Louise. Till next time, good night, sleep tight, and I will see you guys again very, very, very soon.